Hi, we're going to get started in just a moment. I'm going to grab a quick glass of water and we will begin in just a moment. So find a comfortable seat and relax, and we'll begin shortly. Hi, Ron. Glad you're here today. If anyone else is joining us, if you want to pop on and say hello, that's always great. It's up to you. And we are ready to begin. So if you have a block handy today, that would be nice to have, but it's not necessary. It's just a great prop to use now and then. You can stuff a shoebox full of newspaper. Um, as long as we're not, putting our whole body weight on it, then that can work really well too. So I'm glad you're here. Let's get started. A little festive background. Haven't taken my tree down yet, so and this is my space. So anyway, yeah. So it's still the holidays, I guess, for some people. Let's go ahead and find a comfortable seat. I'm Janice Ware, and I'll be guiding the class today for Above and Beyond Cancer, who offers this healing yoga on a weekly basis, along with many other wonderful programs. Find a comfortable seat. Might be on your mat, might be on a chair. And I invite you to close your eyes. And take a moment to just settle into the space. For this next hour or so, there's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Place a hand over your heart center. Feel your heartbeat. Notice your breath. You are alive. And you are here. And I'm so glad that you are. Take the other hand and place it also there. And perhaps consider placing in your heart someone or something for which you are feeling especially grateful on this day or from this year or this week. A gratitude practice does not need to be complicated or take a lot of time or require a journal. It can simply be pausing for a moment or different moments throughout the day, maybe when in a challenging situation, to consider something that you are feeling grateful for. And to just breathe naturally with that feeling. And then relax your hands down to your lap with palms down on your legs. And as we continue to begin our centering practice with eyes closed, we'll scan the body, beginning with the toes and working our way up through the crown to notice any areas of discomfort or strain. Just beginning with the toes, the feet, your ankles, calves, thighs, your seat, your back, the front body, your shoulders and arms and hands, your neck, or any areas on the head. And then in a moment, we'll take a nice long inhale and imagine sending this healing breath of life to those areas or throughout the whole body. And on the exhale, releasing those feelings of discomfort. So let's take a nice long inhale. Sending that breath where it needs to go. And a slow exhale. Go ahead and do that a couple of more times. And then with your hands on your lap, just place them palms up now and connect your thumb to your ring and middle finger. This is a mudra or a hand gesture. And its intention is to support you as you release and let go. This mudra supports you as you let go of what is not working for you any longer, to finally say goodbye to whatever that may be. And it could be anything. Only you know for yourself what that is. What are you ready to release and let go, so you can make space to welcome what you would love to experience more of in your life? And as you continue to sit with this mudra, just practice samavriti or even breath. Just breathing in as maybe you count to 3, 4, or 5, and slowly exhaling to that same count. Samavriti or even breath is a balancing practice and calming as well. And it is another tool, your breath, that you have access to in any situation when you're needing to feel more balanced or more calm. Our mantra for today is, I love the idea of letting go to make more space for what I love. So be with that and consider that. And you can release the mudra, the hand gesture. Open your eyes, and we'll take our hands to sky. Exhale, lower. Breathe in and out. We'll do that one more time. Lovely. And just so you know, I have a little shoulder challenge today, so there might be times where you'll see me doing 2 different things with my arms, and if so, that is why. And no, that is why I always give you variations for foundation and for the arms, because at any day we might have a challenge in any part of our body, and it's nice to still be able to practice and have variations that we can use. Let's warm up our bodies. It's a cold day. Go ahead and extend the legs. And we'll just curl and splay the toes and the fingers at the same time. Nice and slowly. Bringing them in then spreading them apart. Splaying. So these are little joints, and they are part of our extremities, so they get the coldest the quickest. So it's even more important to warm them up and give them a little love this time of year. Then we'll rotate our ankles and wrists. Slowly, look for a nice range. Really feel into what's happening in the joint as you practice this motion. And then pause and go back the other direction. Someone the other day said, well, this is kind of a challenge for me to do this. I said, just don't think about it too much. If it's challenging our brain, I guess that's good though, right? All right, go ahead and relax the hands down for a moment. We'll bring our feet to the earth. And as we raise our heels, we'll have our elbows bent at about 90 degrees with just fingers pointing forward. And as we raise the heels, we'll raise the fingers towards sky. And then come back to neutral. And then as you raise the front of the feet, take the fingers toward the earth. So we'll inhale, exhale to neutral. Inhale with the other movement, exhale to neutral. Just move through that a few times, nice and slowly. But if one feels really good, you can just hold that for a few breaths if you would like. We really learn to listen to our body and what it needs. Then we'll relax the hands down, extend the legs again, bring the insides of the feet together, like these were feet, it would be like this. And then take the soles of the feet toward each other, not meeting, so we're not trying to have them touch. They're reaching toward each other. And you'll know you have kind of the right position when you feel the stretch on the outside of your ankle around this part and around that big old ankle bone in that area. So let's try that again. So let's bring it toward each other, not straining, but just stretching, then returning to neutral. So this is a part of the ankle that doesn't usually get moved in this manner, and which is exactly why it's good for us to do it in yoga or at other times as well, to just give that muscle a little warmth, a little bit of a stretch, because it can be a vulnerable joint. And then just bring your hands to your lap and your feet front. And we'll go ahead and warm up the knee and the hip joints. So to warm up the knee joint, you just simply are bending and straightening the knee. Now you can do this by just leaving your foot on the ground. You can get a great warm up of the knee joint, and your foot never needs to leave the ground. Or you can raise the foot off the ground and do it this way. But take it easy. Do it slowly. Nice and easy. Going for range of motion, but if always if you feel any pain or strain when you're doing this, then don't take it so far. And then for the next part, you can kind of lean on your chair, hang on to that a little bit, and we'll just cradle the leg and do some hip circles. So you could lean back in your chair for support and then go the other way. And just kind of move that hip around. And then lower that to the earth. Ooh, it's a little intense in my hip there. Now let's move to the other side of the body. Different side of the body can have different feelings and different sensations, so be mindful of that. you also know what's best for your body. So while I know I need to warm up this knee joint, it's really not healthy for me to take this to the, as far as I can. I just need to do it enough to warm up the joint um, because of a concern I have there. So just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. So you know what's happening in your body. Honor that for sure. Alrighty, and then we'll go ahead and lean back a little and rotate the hip. So from the knee down is limp. And you just do a few hip circles one direction and then pause and go back the other direction. And bring the foot to the earth. Okay, let's bring our heels of our hands to hip creases and just do a little stirring of the pot. So nice, let's find first of all, nice tall spine. Shoulders are relaxed. Spine is tall, long. Chin may be slightly tucked. And then you'll hinge forward, so not bending at the waist, but hinging from the hips. And we'll come forward, and then we'll just draw a nice big circle, moving from front to side, to back to side and to front. Not fast, but just allowing that spine to warm up gently. And the next time you come to center, front, go back the other direction. And then the next time you come back to front and center, we'll return to neutral. Bring the heels of the hands to the hip creases. And we'll move through some cat-cows. So as you inhale, you'll lift your heart forward. So not throwing the neck back, just lifting the heart. And then exhale, take your hands out to your knees and round your back. Unless you have osteoporosis or a spinal concern, in which case you can simply lean straight back. And then inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale. So just move through a few of these. And you don't necessarily have to take it to the extreme, just gentle movement. Just warming up the spine and getting it used to moving in these ways, in case it hasn't already been warmed up that way. And then come to center. And then just lift one arm and reach, and then bend a little bit to the side. Bring that one down. And now we'll do the same thing with the other arm. Okay, so that's not working for me today, so I'm going to do this. And I can still bend to the side. Just taking out the part that hurts, because remember, there's no pain in yoga. And then we'll come back to center. And we'll just do some nice shoulder rolls. And now come back the other direction. Shrugging all the way up, squeezing, and then lowering as if you have two really heavy weights in your hands. Let's just do that one more time. Just taking it to the extreme in a safe way. And then come back to center. All right, we'll bring our hands together. And usually when we do this, we lift to the foot of the direction we're facing. Today we're going to press that foot into the earth and begin to feel that sensation of pressing one foot into the earth. So I'll bring hands to heart center. And as we shift the arms one direction, our gaze does the other direction. So that foot is pressing into the ground. I'm gazing left, so left foot pressing into the earth. Back to center, relax. Now let's go to the other side. Now you'll press the other foot back to center and relax. So just move through this a couple of more times. It's just throwing a little bit of a balance sensation, but instead of throwing in a balance sensation by lifting a foot, by focusing on engaging one leg and pressing it into the earth. All right, come back to center. And let's check in with our neck. So take one ear toward the shoulder, not forcing it. Find the spot where you feel a stretch, but no strain. And come back up to center, and we'll check out the other side. Probably different feeling on each side. Come back up to center, return to the first side, and this time take your gaze downward toward your shoulder. We'll take a few breaths here. And while you're here, notice where you're feeling this. For me, this covers a pretty good size area. Back of my neck, my shoulder, top of the shoulder. Then take your gaze forward. Come back up to center. Right, we'll revisit the second side. And take your gaze downward. Really keying in. This is an area that can hold a lot of tension for many people. Now just gently turn your head so your gaze is forward and come back up to center. All right. Beautiful. Let's get started. We're all warmed up. I'm going to pop off my socks here because these don't have grippies on them, and I want to be safe. Safety first. Safety always first. Do no harm. Ahimsa. Yeah. So here we go. All right. Move my chimes over. And we are going to begin with sun salutation, and we'll do it for the first time in the chair, although you're welcome to practice this standing. And then we'll do it standing. If you would like to stand, if you want to continue to practice in the chair, you certainly can. Kind of depends on your energy level. The one thing I want you to be mindful of is when we do a half bend, we don't take the head down below the heart. Okay? So find Tadasana, first of all. So feet about half hip distance apart. About a 90-degree angle in your ankles, your knees, your hips. So nice, tall, long spine. Now lift all 10 toes and press into the three corners of your feet. The big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the heel. Feel the legs engage. And then keep that engagement as you let the toes relax down. All right, we'll inhale, bring our arms up. Exhale, half bend, hinging from the hips. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale to center. Exhale, side bend on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, half bend. And you can also just take the hands back behind you on the half bend as well. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, bring them down and lift one leg up. Now we'll move to the other leg. Arms up. And a half bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, a little seated downward dog. So pressing our hands and feet outward as if they were both on the floor, But lean forward a bit and see if you can bring your head down between your forearms. Not your forearms, your upper arms. That'd be a really long neck. And just pressing outward. So feel that engagement from your fingers to your toes, keeping the back nice and straight. I noticed I had a little curve there, so keep that spine aligned. And then we'll bring one foot back, then the other, the feet, and find Tadasana. And then inhale up. Exhale, half bend. Inhale, Hatasana. Exhale, side bend. Night with same hand on same knee. Inhale. Exhale to the other side. Nice, gentle, gentle, gentle twist. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. We'll do that again. But this time when we come forward, we're going to reach all the way across and forward. So we're going to cross that arm across the body. And then breathe in, bring it back up. Exhale, go to the other side. Breathe. And then cross that arm over the body in the front, kind of reaching down a bit. Inhale, out. Exhale, Hatasana, and hands to heart center. Breathe in, and as you exhale, bring your hands to your legs. Breathe in, pull back on your legs as you pull your heart through your upper arms. For a seated Cobra, Bhujangasana. Come back to center. Bring your hands to heart center. And now we'll go through it again, and you can do it seated or you can explore standing. I'd like to explore standing with you, but using the chair as a prop. So I'll have the chair in front of me. There we go. Okay. Bring my little notes around here so remember what I'm doing. Okay, so inhale, arms up. Exhale, half bend. And you can bring your hands right here to the chair. Slight bend in the knees, inhale up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale to center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, half bend. Step back with one foot. You can have a little lunge here. Step back and do the other side. So when we bring our knee up to our chest when we're seated, that's sort of like a lunge in the chair, or can be. And then we'll step back into downward dog. Inhale, bring one foot back, then the other. And the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay. Right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, that twist. And this time you can kind of bring your hand across your body like that. And bring the arm forward. Inhale, back out. Arms up. Other side. And bring that arm forward. And cross your arms in front of you. Inhale, Hatasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. Breathing in. Bring the arms up. And as you exhale, bring the heels of your hands to the back of your, this is like your sacrum area. Okay? And when you do that, bring your shoulders down. And then lift your heart Bring your shoulder blades back a little bit together. And you can keep your hands here or you can put them here. Whatever feels best to you. Okay, and inhale, arms up. Exhale, half bend. Slight bend in the knees. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, great. And shake everything out a little. So sun salutations are just a nice way to move in some different ways with your breath. And it gets the whole body kind of warmed up. Gives you a chance to check in with your body, see how it's feeling, how it's doing. It just is a nice way to begin a practice and get yourself warmed up. And there's hundreds of different ways to do them. So whatever movements you like, just basically do those with your breath and you're good to go. Okay, we are going to begin with a Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. If you're practicing standing, you'll take the feet wide, one foot, toes pointing toward the short edge of the mat, the other foot, heel toward the back of the mat, torso facing the long edge of your mat, arms out like so, like that. So this is a foundation if you're standing. You could also put the chair right in front of you, so you would have that to place your hands on for balance support. And now watch. To practice it seated, it's really not that different. So to build strength, though, when we practice seated, we just make sure to press our feet into the surface below it and engage our legs. All right, so take one leg out to the side, other leg extended. Doesn't have to be straight. You want to be able to press down into the earth with both feet. So torso kind of facing the long edge, arms out. Now, options for arms. Could be here, could be here, maybe here, or just here, or goalpost. Kind of depends on what's going on in your body. So gaze out over that front leg. So your head is actually turned to the side. Feet pressed down into the earth, long spine, shoulders relaxed. Taking that gaze forward. We're going to hold this for a few breaths. Bringing lots of warmth and strength into the legs. The arms get tired, you can simply change position. Then we'll relax the legs, and if you're standing, straighten that front leg and come face forward, bring your hands to heart center. So we'll be moving between this. So we'll inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, gaze forward, hands to heart center, front knee bent if you're standing. So breathing in and out. Go ahead and move through a few of these at your pace. That way you can hold each one for as long as you would like, or if there's one you especially like, you can just hold that. And then next time we come with our hands to heart center, we'll let the legs relax and heel toe both feet back to center and revisit mountain or Tadasana. Could even practice that mudra from the beginning of class during Tadasana. So legs are engaged, tall spine, shoulders relaxed. See if you notice any sensations on one side of the body that you don't on the other. Now just relax everything and move to the other side. So now we'll bring the other leg. So if you're standing, you'll just pivot And the opposite foot is bent. And extend the back leg. Find a foundation that feels solid to you. Bring your arms out to sides. Press the feet into the earth as you gaze out over that front or side, whatever bent knee. I'm just going to go right here for today. Now, feet are pressing into the earth. Your legs are engaged. This is where we're building strength. When we are holding postures, we're building balance, we're building focus, we're building strength, stability, a lot of good things. And now, if you're seated, relax the legs. If you're standing, straighten the front leg, bring your hands to heart center and face the long edge of your mat. Now we'll move between these two poses. This is a dynamic flow in and out of a posture with the breath. And this is also building strength, but because you're moving in and out, it also is a very calming practice for your nervous system. So let's inhale, come into Warrior Two. Exhale, hands to heart center, face long edge, straighten front leg if you're standing. Breathing in. So it's the same we did on the other side. And out. And again, continue to move through this at your pace with your breath. Remembering to keep those shoulders relaxed. Knowing you can change arm position anytime you need to. Honor your body. And then the next time you come with hands at heart center, just gently heel toe both feet back to center. Relax your shoulders, your arms. Come back into Tadasana. And we'll explore the wide-legged forward fold. So a block is really nice to have for this, but it could also be a big old heavy book, or it cannot exist, and I'll help you with ideas on supporting that. So a wide-legged forward fold is a wonderful way to release tension, and it's wonderful to do it before you go to bed at night. It's also very important that you come into it very slowly and be very mindful of how your back is feeling. You also want to keep a little micro bend in your knees. If you're practicing this standing, keep a micro bend in your knees so that you don't overdo it on the hamstrings. Okay. So take the legs wide. You can do this standing or seated. I'm going to demonstrate it both ways. We'll start with seated. Nice tall spine. So just as if you're in Tadasana, but wide-legged. We'll hinge from the hips. Just place your hands on your thighs. We're just going to hinge forward. You have your hands here to help support you. And you'll just very slowly come forward. If you feel any kind of pain or strain in the lower back, then you just want to come back up a bit until you do not feel that anymore. If it's feeling all right, then maybe you move your hands to your knees or to the top of your block as you continue to hinge forward. And if this is feeling all right, maybe you move down to the next block, the next level of the block. And you can also hang on to your lower leg. Or maybe you just want to leave your hands up here. That works too. And now we'll just gently and slowly press our way. Bring the hands to the legs and press your way up to seated. Now this next time we go through, if you're not experiencing any vestibular issues, vertigo, or high blood pressure, if you want to explore letting the head and neck relax as well, then that would be an option. It's not necessary, though, to receive the benefits of the pose. So be very mindful of that. I would only suggest doing that for today, at least, if you're seated in a chair. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll do it again, and you can practice seated in your chair again. Okay. If you're standing, notice when you take a wide stance how the knees lock out. Put a little slight bend in there. And again, you're going to hinge forward from the hips. So we all have our hands on our thighs. We're hinging forward from the hips, so we're not dropping the head or neck. We pause, see how that's feeling. If it's feeling okay, maybe we take our hands down to the high edge of the block, come down a bit farther. It's going to be more intense standing, so be mindful that you might, your bend might be different if you're standing or seated. And then just at this point, if you would like to let the head and neck relax, if that's safe for you, you can try that. And then we'll gradually press back up. So then we take our hands from the block to our legs and press up. Just take a moment to get your bearings. When I do this at night, I use my bag for support for my hands and my arms. And that's really nice. And then just keep a slight bend in those knees, and we'll return to seated if you are not already. Need to check our time here. All right. Wow, time just flies by. Here we go. Let's move into a little Parsvakonasana, or side angle. So we'll return to that Warrior Two foundation. But this time, we'll bend this forearm and come here. Now we're not leaning into it. Okay, we're bringing the forearm there. It's resting there lightly. Top shoulder is back. Now, what are you going to do here? You can have your hand on your hip. You can bring it out and place those fingertips on your shoulder. And then you could explore moving that around or keep it here. Or you can bring that arm forward and up and over the ear like this. Your gaze can be wherever feels best in your neck, toward the floor, forward or upward. Depends on your neck. I'm going to hold this for a few breaths. Are you pressing your feet into the earth? If you're standing, I know you are. If we're seated, that's something really important for us to be mindful of doing. And then we can relax everything, and we'll just slowly come out of the posture like slow motion. And then we'll switch to the other side. So heel toe, both feet to center. And then build your foundation for the other direction. All right. So facing forward. Okay. Remember to keep this shoulder back. So sometimes when we come forward, it wants to collapse. Keep it back. Sometimes this is how I just hold it too, because it can help you remember to keep that back and avoid leaning in here. You're going to feel some pressure. Try to use the strength of your body to hold yourself up. And then decide where you want this hand to be. And for me, it's going to be right here. You can always slice the front and take it over your ear. Now, place your gaze somewhere that feels good in your neck. Activate the legs by pressing the feet into the earth. I love the idea of letting go to make more space for what I love. I love the idea of letting go to make more space for what I love. And now, just as before, we're going to come out of this very slowly, very gradually, the way we came in, very gently. Bring the arms down, heel toe both feet toward the front. Okay. Now from here, cross one leg over the other. If that is not accessible to you, you can do this. But we want a little open hip here. Okay. All right, do a little seated pigeon, Kapatasana. So just be here. We're not pressing on this, forcing anything. We're simply here. Nice tall spine as if you're in Tadasana, but with one ankle over the knee. And then we'll hinge from the hips and come forward like an inch. Although this might already feel fairly intense. And if so, this is where you'll stay and breathe and practice samavriti, even breath. If you're not feeling a sensation there, then you can hinge forward. And you're going to feel it kind of in the back, like right in through here. If you're not feeling anything there, you can try to hinge forward a half inch, literally a half inch at a time. We're not trying to do a forward bend here, or a half bend, or even a fourth of a bend. We're just simply hinging forward just enough to just give that some stretch, give that part of your body some warmth and some stretch. And then gradually press back up. Uncross that knee. And we'll go to the other side. Now, this might feel very different. I know I say that a lot, but it's just it's important to remember that it might appear like our bodies are the same on both sides, but there's different stuff going on in there that we can't see, that we need to learn to be in tune to, mindful of, and honor. So here we go. Nice tall spine. This may already feel like, you know what, this is a good stretch. I'm staying here and practicing the breath. Remember the even breath? Or you could hinge forward a tiny bit. It's not a contest to see who can hinge forward the farthest. It's a practice for you to tune in to what you're feeling in the body and to learn not to push through things, but to notice them and be with them. And if it's too intense, to back off. Can be different on different days too. This is going to be different if you practice it in the morning than when you practice it at night. So it's going to be different if you've been up running around and doing stuff, or if you've been enjoying a good book for a couple of hours on the couch. Now we'll come back up to seated. Uncross that ankle. Let's just kind of do some gentle rub the hands down the legs, over the knees, and back up. So kind of a nice oblong sort of massage, like a rubber band. And then we'll pause and go back the other direction. Just keeping warmth there in the legs, keeping warmth in the knee joint. And now find your Tadasana. And as you sit in Tadasana, engage your core, find your drishti, your focal point, and lift the heel of one foot off the earth. You are now practicing balance. Now lift the toes. This is practicing balance. Press that other leg into the earth. Remember how we did at the beginning of the class? Now lower that lifted leg. And let's go to the other side and give it a little massage if it needs it. Now root down into the other leg. Just lift the heel of the other foot. And then the toes, keeping your drishti, your focal point. Then lowering the toes and the heels. And then give this leg a massage. Sometimes that can be a little intense. So, and you can do that standing too. And you have your chair for support. You know, you can just practice. I'm going to slight bend in the knee, root down into my supporting leg, lift this heel off, and it already feels like balance practice. And then if you want to practice, you can just practice standing on one foot. And lower it. And then root down into the other leg. Start by lifting the heel. And then practice standing on one foot. But always have something nearby, a counter, a chair, something to support you when you're doing a balance practice. Okay. All right, lovely. Let's go ahead and get a couple of Vipasanas, just bringing that knee into the chest. You can lean back with it if you want to. Then we'll do the other side. And if you're lying back on your back during Shavasana, that's something that you can do while you're on your back too. And speaking of Shavasana, it is time. So find yourself a comfortable place where you can either lie down or sit comfortably. And find a place really, if you're lying down, that your legs can just kind of be splayed open and the sides of your feet on the earth. Or if you're seated, that your legs can splay open with just the outside of your feet on the earth. That really sends the message to your body that you can let go. Your legs are not having to do anything. Because if your feet are on the earth, their feet are like, okay, I have a job to do here, but not when they're like this. So find a comfortable seat. Be warm, put a blanket on if you would like. Get cozy. Feel your whole body being supported by the surfaces below, the feet, the legs, your seat, your torso, your shoulders. Everything can just soften and be heavy. Let your head relax, the neck, your scalp, your forehead, the areas around your eyes and your ears, your cheeks, and your jaw. Just let that lower jaw open slightly. You are safe, you are supported. I'll tone the chime when we need to begin the close of our practice. ahead and bring some gentle movement into your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet. Bend one knee and then the other, bringing your feet to earth. And if you're lying down, turn your body to one side. And then extending the top leg, use your hands to press yourself up to a seated position. Returning to that comfortable seat in the beginning of class. Bill Nye says, to leave the world better than you found it, sometimes you have to pick up other people's trash. And I will add, that doesn't mean you have to keep carrying it around. Release it to a place that does not harm. I love the idea of letting go to make more space for what I love. Go ahead and open your eyes with a soft gaze. We'll inhale, take hands to sky. Exhale to the earth. Breathing in, gathering up all the goodness from our practice. And exhale, releasing that which is not serving us. And then again, bringing the palms together above the crown. And slowly bringing them down toward heart center as you exhale. Gently brushing your face with your fingertips. Bringing your hands to heart center. It is an honor to share this practice with you. And thank you for practicing with us. May you be safe. May you be well. And may you be filled with peace. Shanti. Stay warm, friends, and we'll see you next time.